Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Jihadah Sharif. I'm the founder of Creative Spirits of the state of New Jersey, an organization I started in 1977.
Okay. All right, and so today we're here in Newark on 16th Avenue at Grace Temple Baptist Church. Is that what it is?
Yes, and we're feeding the neighborhood. We can't say the homeless, but the neighborhood, the people.
Why you feeding people, man? Don't they got the jobs? Don't they got their own money for
Right.
themselves?
Well, no, the ones that came in were happy that we were here, very happy. And we were thankful to be able to do something for them. We got donations from others. We all donated. I want to mention Sam Arnold, Perry's Funeral Home, who gave us this spot and helped buy some of the groceries. So he's been with us for many years also, same as others.
So Perry's Funeral Home don't just take care of you after you're dead. They take care of you while you're alive too?
Oh, yes,
Yes,
he
he
take care of
cares.
us
He
when we
cares.
are alive.
Yes,
he
yes, he
cares.
does.
I have buried a lot of people. In fact, I've helped people get married to fix their little wedding notes up and different things. And with their funeral, I did their the repass information program. Yeah, so Sam has done a lot.
Yes.
You know, listen, I'm glad to know that, right? Like I said, we hear about undertakers, especially in the black community. We just think about the business part and what they do at the end of your life, not do it.
I know.
Well, you got to introduce yourself before you start.
Wait a minute,
Hold on.
I just wanted to say I was talking to him the other day, and he says, I gotta go, Jihadah. I gotta make some money so I can give you all some more donations.
Testosterone speaking. Go ahead. All right, and introduce yourself.
My name is Lisa Davis. I have been knowing Jihadah Sharif for a long time. I think when I first met her, it was like in the early 80s, and I was wanting to be pursuing acting. And somehow we met through somebody named David Sanders, a live soap opera we were doing. But we just clicked, and Jihadah was that safe space where I could always come to, like on summer vacation, and anything that I wanted to do, any kind of production I wanted to do, she was like, yeah, we can do it. We did Greek mythology. We did some of everything. She said, yes, we can do it. And so I learned about Jihadah, though, but you can't tell her no. So at some point when I got older, she goes, Lisa, why don't you start teaching? And the last thing I wanted to do was be working with these little young kids. I'm like, please. She goes, no. I said, what am I going to teach, Jihadah? I don't have any degrees in any of this. What am I going to teach? She said, you teach what you know. And so I just continued to work with Creative Spirits, and I learned so much from her. She's one of the foundation. You were talking about my politics. No, but I'm saying she's one of the she's like the foundation, like on the foundation level. And I would just see, she just would never give up. And I would just see her challenge systems when they needed to be challenged. She was always somebody, whenever something was ever going on, I could come back to her. And she helped me to see something more in these young kids than just seeing them as monsters. Because if you see somebody as a monster, you'll do anything to them. You'll let society do anything to them. But if you see our people as people with a heart, even some of these young kids, it's still difficult to work with, but I say that out of love, then you can break so many barriers with them. And that's what Creative Spirits did. We were not funded. We were just coming out of our own hearts and our determination, and we would provide programs through, again, her vision, programs for a lot of young people. And we didn't care. We didn't care whether they were considered troubled or good or anything like that, although I did learn a lesson that whenever you have a group of kids get together, there's no such thing as the good ones or the bad ones. They would all act the same. I learned that.
That's why I don't take bad kids around good kids. Bad kids give good kids bad ideas.
No, but I say that out of love because I would.
No, I'm just saying, I agree with you.
No, but I'll just say this. I would see the good kids. I'm like, there ain't no bad kids. And the good kids, I'm like, you guys are, you are like, huh? But it's just that their energy, when they get together, they're gonna be kids.
The bad kids get good kids bad ideas.
No, but they were. All of it was out of love. Because I would see so much. I would even see love come, and I learned some things from those kids who were considered incorrigible. I learned more from them than they learned from me. Nice. I really did.
Listen, I know you, Lisa Davis, through POP, People's Organization for Progress. So you talked about Jihadah being responsible for your politics, quote unquote. But
She
like I said,
she was the first. She was
wait, let me finish.
foundation.
Let me finish. But like I said, I've seen you when I first time I encountered you at POP events, which is People Over for Progress, which is Larry Ham, which is Ingrid Hill, Zaid Muhammad, very political, revolutionary type people.
Yes.
So you're saying that even though you run with those POP guys, your inspiration and your source of your revolutionary spirit.
Yeah,
And I say revolutionary because when I was talking to Jihadah, she never thought of herself as a revolutionary. Right? She said, "Oh, I never thought of myself as a revolutionary." I said, "Well, that's what you've been doing, whether you know that's what you labeled it or not." Right? So the stuff you're talking about. So when I say politics, and you talk about the system and the capitalist, you say colonialism system.
Yeah, colonialism.
When you go against that, that's revolutionary. Whether it's not just taking up arms and it's not just fighting in the street and protesting, it's I want to do things differently, have a revolutionary way of thinking. That's my definition of revolutionary.
Yes.
And that's what I put on her. And so that's what you say. So when you say politics, I don't mean politics with a bad name.
No, I know. Oh, I know how you mean it. And I didn't. Yeah, but this is a way of life. That's how everybody should be thinking, a way of life. But she was the foundation. She was the first organization I became involved with, and then it was just a natural outgrowth. But I have to give.
You got more radical. You started hanging out with Jihadah, who was soft-spoken. Then you get the Larry Ham with the bullhorns running down the street.
But
No justice, no peace.
I don't
Right?
know what you're talking about.
What's coming next?
I don't know what you're talking about, soft-spoken. I have seen her. I have seen, but it was a natural progression, just a natural growth, But I have to say that that's the foundation. That's where I first, that's where I was first introduced to this concept of being about the community and coming together with the community, and the community being our own answers.
Okay. All right, sir. You're there with these two strong black women.
Yes.
You're a very dapper black gentleman, might say.
Thank you, sir.
As I observed, but there's a reason for that, isn't there?
Yes, sir.
Which is?
Well,
Introduce yourself first.
my name is Mitchell Williams of Debonair Menswear Group Incorporated.
Located where?
Located in East Orange, New Jersey. And I'm a former chairman of the Creative Spirits of the state of New Jersey.
Got a question for you. You talk about East Orange. Are you an East Orange guy?
No, actually, I'm not from East Orange, but I've spent 35 years there in business.
Good. As long as you don't go to Clifford Scott High School, we okay.
No, sir.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. You a Scotty dog?
I subscribed.
The interview was over for her. No more interview for her.
And also, I was one of the first chairman of the Creative Spirits of the state of New Jersey, under the auspices of Ms. Jihadah Sharif.
You said chairman, Jihadah. So you say the auspices. I'm saying that she had the good idea. You got on board, and you became the chairman of it. What does the chairman of Creative Spirits do?
Well, the chairman helps facilitate some of the ideas that that the mission reflects in our organization. But I will be remiss to not mention that as of May of 2023, that is 46 years that Jihadah Sharif started this organization called Creative Spirits of the state of New Jersey.
I think that's a very interesting thing because you said, you mentioned 46 years for Creative Spirits. How long have you been in business?
I've been in business for 35 years.
And the reason I ask that is because, as I'm sure you know, they always say the majority of new businesses they don't last 3 years. So if you can get past the 3 to 5 year mark, you're doing pretty good. But then I also ask that in terms of, and then also you become a chairman, that when you have a good idea and you decide to make an organization and you want to do things, you need to find people who know how to get things done, who know how to take care of business. And you get a businessman like yourself, yes? Would you agree?
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the criteria. Of course, the chairman is just a representative of the board of directors. And in having a board of directors, you have people from all walks of the community involved so that you can get different perspective as to how to run an organization. But I would also like to say that in 1977 was the year that actually Creative Spirits was organized under Ms. Sharif's auspices.
Right before Ronald Reagan, huh? Got ready to catch hell.
Okay. But I think what people are liking to know about Ms. Sharif is that, if I may tell this story.
Tell the story. Go ahead. Give us some dirt. I want some dirt.
She was actually walking down the street one day, and she saw some children playing out of control. And she asked God, what could she do with these children once they were out of school for the summer? And she didn't really expect to get an answer from God, but God answered her and said to her, when these children get out of school, it's going to be your task to help them. And she wondered, what could she do to help them? And she decided to do a play. And surely, she had never done a play before, but she said yes. And the rest is history. She's a great playwright. She's an actor in her own right. She's a phenomenal woman. She's a woman of the community who believe in helping those that are disenfranchised.
Please come in.
The underprivileged, those who are suffering from injustice. And she has set up many programs through Creative Spirits, like Patch the Crack program, which is a program that helps inmates who are in prison. When they come out of prison, they can come through her program.
Patch the crack. You sure that's not helping out drug dealers?
No, it's not that part. It's so that they patch up those cracks where they slip through the justice system.
Right.
So that program has helped many of inmates stay out of jail and become productive citizens.
That's pretty cool. All right, so what do you got doing here today?
Yeah, we don't.
So we're here just serving the community, helping those who ordinarily couldn't help themselves, and just having conversations with them about what's going on in the community, why is there so much division in our community, and we've been getting inputs from the community at large.
And right now we can do the group thing, Jihadah. So you focus this way, unless you know when you're helping them. So my question is, you said you got started in 1977. Here we are in the new millennium, right? 2023, right? That's almost 50 years later, almost, right?
Yeah, 46.
46 years later,
Yes.
and yet the same needs that you guys recognized when you first started almost 50 years ago,
Yes.
still seem to be here.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's an injustice to a community that 50 years later, you still have some of the same injustices that we had 50 years ago. And somewhere it appears to me that through the political system that we got a short end of the stick.
We had Barack Obama. Racism is gone, man. You had African American president. It's all good now, right?
Close it at 6 o'clock.
Okay, we got 20
Hold on, let me.
We're gonna be.
We got another 15 minutes.
May I say, you are the best dressed bouncer I've ever seen. Right? He just told you the party's over. You can't stay here. But I thought that we talk about progressivism, we talk about Democratic Republicans, progress, and 50 years later, and you had Barack Obama, and it's supposed to all be good now, right?
Yeah. But as you
Is it all good?
Well, no, it's not all good, and I think that Ms. Sharif is the best one to express those types of injustices. But we've always seen that we've been on the lower end of the food chain, so to speak. In other words, it trickles down.
And when you say we, who do you mean?
I mean the community. I'm a part of the community.
When you say the community, what do you mean?
I mean the urban community.
Urban community, or minorities, blacks and Latinos, blacks and brown, black people?
Minority urban community.
Okay. And so, like I said, you say, what do you say, on the lower end of the food chain? But I would say not a high priority, not high on the post of priority.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's.
And yet they need those black votes, man. Biden wouldn't be president if it wasn't for all them black votes from the South.
It is true. It is true. And as you know, that the system today helped prevent blacks from going to the polls to vote. mainly because of the criteria that they put in front of us. So there's always some position
You would like,
in the political system that they use to prevent us from getting out the majority of the votes.
I was joking earlier when the young man was here and he was getting a meal. I said, "You get a meal and some politics." I said, "It's better than Chinese food, right? When you Chinese food, you get a meal and a fortune cookie, right?"
Fortune cookie, yeah. That's
So I mean, but but is it we mentioned the politics and economics. I mean, and the social stuff.
well, yeah, that's what we
I
try.
mean, and it's like all intertwined. You can't separate one from the other, huh?
Well, what Creative Spirits was doing was trying to bridge the gap. We created a mentor program for young men, and we just had young men who were from the black young men from the community who came into our organizations who had very little knowledge of anything. I'll give you one instance. In my business, I mentored a young gentleman who was bright, and all he needed was a little guidance. I took him into my business, not as a salesperson or as a member of the staff, but I started him out just cleaning around the store, sweeping around the store, sweeping in front of the store, in the stock room, doing stock. But after a few years, well, I would say many years that he stayed with me, he became one of the top salesmen in my store.
Nice.
And eventually went on to his own business,
Which
which was in the menswear business also.
in the area? Was the competition? Did you raise the competition? You know, the black people, we know that's why we don't help each other because we don't want anybody to compete against it.
That's very true. We made certain that he would be no competition to me.
That's smart businessman, right?
Yeah. So that was just one of the cases that were mentored. But we took many young men off the street and mentored them to.
Why was that important to you?
It was so important because I had a better opportunity than most, and I thought that having a business in the community, that I had to give back something to the community. And my time and my finances were two of the things that I could give that I thought would help the community. I actually met Jihadah through my business. She came in one day and she was interested in getting some funding for a program that she was in. And we were able to help her with the funding, obviously because we were a successful business in the community. And I think that after that time in my shop in 1977, I think we have been a part of funding Creative Spirits for the last 35 years.
But I never received public funding.
Put it in there.
I realize that. That's one of the reasons why I was in it.
Yeah, that's why you got it from the private sector. You got it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about political funding. We never
Never got it.
We never got it.
Perhaps that's because you're a revolutionary, man. How you gonna be anti-establishment and take money from the establishment,
Right.
Jihadah?
I don't. I don't.
May I say a little something about Mitch as a businessman? Because this is the kind of business people that we need. I am very much anti-capitalism, but I am pro the people. And when you have businesses who give back to the community, they make their business a part of the community. And that's what Mitch with Debonair, right? Debonair was the name of the store. And oh my gosh, he had the best clothing for men. I couldn't go in there and really shop for men. But he was always about the community, and that's what we want from businesses. If you're gonna be in our community, you got to be a part of the community, and you got to care and you got to give back.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but as I'm sure he can attest, a lot of the businesses in that community are not of that community. They're in the community making money, but they don't represent the community. They're just like it's just a place they come to work. It's like they don't really.
85%.
Well,
Yes, are not
That's a large percentage.
Yeah, they're just taking money out of the community.
I found myself to be a minority of the community in terms of business.
Well, I'm addressing Blink Fitness now because they're doing big business over there, and I don't see where they're putting into the community. I'm trying to contact Stephen Ross.
Well, that's those are like franchise, I believe, right? So you gotta find the guy who's
that's him,
you gotta
Stephen
find the
Ross.
franchise.
He's Rentless Incorporated, I think is the name. He has 2 baseball teams, a football team. He owns Blinks. He owns Rentless or something. He is the
But I'm saying
man.
but I'm saying you franchise that out. So if you got a franchisee who runs the Blink over there on Central Avenue in East Orange, then I mean that's what you should be talking to. For instance, I met the guy. He's a West Indian guy, Jamaican guy, who owns the East, who runs and owns the Planet Fitness in East Orange, Elizabeth, I believe, and in East Orange, Elizabeth, where else I see it, and Irvington. And he's like a Jamaican guy, but that means that he's running it. But you know, when they opened the Planet Fitness in Irvington, I mean in East Orange years ago, I covered that. The corporate guy, the big guy, the guy you're talking about, the big guy, he was there. But you know, but they're franchises like McDonald's franchises. I mean, so when you're talking about that blink, you got to talk to the person who runs it in the community, right?
Well,
Am I wrong?
you know, when I called, I finally got someone over in New York where their main office are. They told me to talk to the manager there. She didn't cooperate. Then I called back to New York. I'm still talking to someone in one of their offices. And what she said to me was very insulting. Was that
But you a member, man. How you gonna be a member of a place that's insulting to you? What's up, Jihadah? What you talking about, man?
What are we going to give her? Give them, blink. So I told her about that little word that John Kennedy said. That's not what we're going to give, the country's going to give to us, but what are we going to give to the country?
Well, all right. I see. This is one thing. I don't want to get off. We'll do the blink thing later. But today, Creative Experience is out here in the community, feeding the community members like this gentleman and this young lady, right?
Yes.
And
We gotta clean up.
I'd like to ask you. So, have you been continuous, or are you picking it up? Are you picking up? And you getting back into the swing of things with Creative Spirits now? The last time we talked, you said that you have.
I want to take something to you guys. Period.
Oh yes, I have a
No, just like Joe.
We have the sister here who would like to say something.
Please.
Oh, hold on a second. You want to give a statement, young lady?
Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Sister Nancy. I'm thanking you guys for giving me an opportunity to eat with you guys. I'm just showing my gratitude.
You're certainly welcome.
My family has been born and raised here.
You say here, you mean Newark?
Yes, Newark, New Jersey. Newark, New
I'm
Jersey.
from EO. We all up in here. We all up in here.
Don't even worry. And I have, you know, we all have. We was raised up with good, bad, and so many indifferences in one place. And somehow throughout that we still managed to sprout through other parts of the land and the world, so to say. But some of us made it, some of us fell, but what you guys doing, like what you guys are doing right now, like our spirit never gave up.
It's funny. It's funny you should say spirit, because the name of this group is Creative Spirits.
Spirits, creative spirits.
What do you think about that? It's a good name.
This is
Creative
Creative.
creative spirits.
Creative spirits. Well,
Help the create.
basically, I think that's because they say we came from the spirit. So, a spirit had been poured into us from our Creator,
Okay.
above all creation.
Amen.
So, with that being said, some of us didn't even really know what that was. Period. Me being to say, me one of those people. It took me a long time to start looking in on me and my spirit.
Your spirit. Yeah, that's what
My
it is.
spirit inside. And I reached into I poured into so many other bodies of spirit that maybe I wasn't supposed to pour out much as I did
We only got 5
without pouring in
All right. Thank
and
you.
drinking from,
That's pretty good.
or
That is pretty good.
or even knowing who I
Don't leave yet.
who I am. I forgot to drink and let what was poured into me stay. I stopped drinking from the cup that had already been poured from me.
Nice, I like that. And on that note, and that was very good.
No,
Thank
no,
you
no,
very
no,
much.
no. It's not even. Hey, it's not even an ending yet because that was your ending. To me, we don't have an ending. We just continue on living with our spirit through the realm of these universals that makes us one universe contained into one. I don't know how to say it because I'm still learning words from the dictionary that I've been using, and some words I was not using correctly because I didn't have the correct meaning that I thought I had of them. It wasn't so at all. So I pretty much don't want to say too much of nothing because it can be used against me.
We're not the feds, right? Anything you say can and not will be used. But you said some good stuff.
Like I said, we don't know who we are. We can be any and all things. But on that note, just thank y'all for continuing to work with people who are trying to work
And I love your
with
jeans.
themselves.
Yeah.
They're my husband.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
We love our community. We love
Listen.
people.
She just wrote the lead for this story. Yeah, listen. She's talking. I'm sitting. The spirit was in the house at Grace Temple Baptist Church on 16th Avenue in Newark on June 25th. But it was from creatives, but it was Jihadah Sharif and the creative spirits, not the Holy Spirit. Boom, boom, boom. Or maybe it was the Holy Spirit.
I like to say amen.
What I would like to say.
I like that.
What I'd like to say, our statement for being here today is that I wrote that the Spirit is a driving force working for one another with love and creativity for the driving force that brings us together. Community life is possible only if these things do come together.
So isn't it ironic? I tell you, that's why things work out. She started talking about the spirit, we talking your creative spirits, and then in your speech you're talking about the spirit.
Yeah,
This all comes full circle, Jihadah. See how it happens? And it didn't take 3 hours this time either.
Well, so much like even about how come we're not more than what we are. The Justice Department does not want us active. They do not want to patch up the crack program, even though they honor me for doing the volunteer work for them. I even had a federal judge come from Washington. You was there. He loved what we was doing, but he could not endorse the program because he's a federal judge, and that would be unethical.
If I'm part of the system, then how can I sponsor or support revolutions to the system? And excuse me, would you mind? I'm doing a story about this. Would you introduce yourself?
Deacon Sidney Eaton.
SIDNEY.
EATO.
And may I ask you, do you shop at Debonair Menswear? Because you seem like you do, because you're very debonair.
Thank you.
But then I don't know if you overheard the young lady who was just leaving here, and then Jihadah's speech about spirit, and her group was called Creative Spirits. So I was saying, me as a journalist, my lead for this story would be that the spirit was in the house at Grace Temple Church on 16th Avenue in Newark on June 25th. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And it's only here. I mean, they're here because you guys opened the door to them.
That's right.
That's very nice and very generous.
That's right.
Why'd you do that, man? Why you letting revolutionaries run around in your church?
No, we support everybody because God says everybody is his children, and we got to support one another. That's what churches are supposed to be for. They're not supposed to turn their back on people that are in need. They don't always looking for people to come dressed up and still serving God. We supposed we supposed to serve. We supposed to go and show the people how to come back to themselves and become to God. That's what we supposed to do. And because we are dressed up in our suits and stuff, God has prepared us to do what we're supposed to do, and we are always going to be working for God.
No doubt. Listen, Ms. James talked about the fact that community-based business, community-based organizations.
I got one.
And so I guess this is a community church, huh? A church that's in the community,
Yes,
of the community,
it's
and for
in the community, and we want to help the community. And we have been here over 50 years, and we always was out and willing to help the community. So that's what makes us a longevity, because we are here for the community.
All right, that's pretty cool. All right, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
I bought them, but I don't care.
Jihadah, before I turn this off,
what I paid for them.
Jihadah Sharif,
What I paid, I should be taking
come
off
here
the
before you turn this off.
Even the used one.
Give your organization a plug. Creative Spirits, where can people find you? Social media, on the web, the telephone number, where?
Well, mostly now I'm on Facebook, but we are
But
developing
on Facebook as what? What is it?
as Jihadah Peppers Sharif, and as my family name is Peppers. We do have a Creative Spirits of the state of New Jersey on Facebook also, but I answer more to Jihadah Peppers Sharif,
Okay.
and our website should be up in another month.
What is it going to be called?
Well, I haven't had a name for it no more than Creative Spirits of the state of New Jersey. And we're going to be really promoting getting tobacco out of the community because it's killing us. And it's a lot of money that can be used for a lot of things our community
You got a
needs.
nice name like Cools in Newport. How you going to beat Cools in Newport? No menthol cigarettes.
Stop
you know,
it.
black people love them menthol cigarettes.
Stop in the name of love. Stop killing yourself for your loved ones. Because every one of us has somebody, either family member or
Right, now, just to
friend,
let you know,
who's
and
died
I'll
from
say this, I'm
smoking-related
I happen
illness.
to be a
And so let me ask you,
creative,
if
so,
I'm somebody,
services and
because
stuff,
we
I
live in the
can't-
age now with GoFundMe and all that kind of good stuff. But if I'm somebody and I've seen this video and I hear about Creative Spirits, even though you guys are not asking for money, if somebody wanted to fund you, how
But
can they do
I
it?
said,
You guys got a
as far
GoFundMe
as
page?
doing
Can
things
people
like this,
subscribe?
Well,
to
we
your-
haven't a GoFundMe page up yet because I'm not into computers and stuff like that, the technology. But we having people such as Lisa who's gonna come and help set some things up she has in the past because she helped get some of our things on Facebook, YouTube and all. So more and more are coming out. In fact, I was over here the other day looking at the space for where I was going to be at here today, and I ran into a young lady right down the street that just opened up a program. But when I goes over there, because I'm looking at the sign, and I said, well, let me go over and see who they are and what they're about. And so I goes in, and I says, my name is Jihadah. That's all I got in. She said, Jihadah Sharif, you're the reason I'm doing all this. I knew you when I was much younger, and you encouraged me, you motivated me to get involved in our community. And here I am doing this today.
How does that make you feel?
That made me feel very good, because when I think, oh, I'm not doing anything, because I still see much anger and pain around, but then God lets me know you're doing okay. So that made me feel very good. And sometimes on Facebook, some of the kids say, oh, you the Jihadah Sharif that was at the Central Ward Boys and Girls Club. Well, when you first came there, I didn't want to be in your program, but my grandmother made me. And look what I'm doing now. She showed me all the different things that she was doing. Then I post some of the kids when they were younger, pictures I took of them in groups. And then they would start talking to each other over Facebook. Oh, look at you. You remember when you did this at that age? So it brings back a lot of memories. Just from the children itself now that they're grandparents. Boy, I've been doing this a long time.
So I guess is that validation for what you do? I mean, do you do it for a reason? I mean, this is unexpected, but it does feel good to know that you actually did have an impact, huh?
Yes, it does. And I just wanted to continue on. And I know it's soon be time for me to pass the torch. And I never sold out. Never sold out for the dollar. And whoever takes over, I want them to be the same way.
But they ain't got to sell out now. They got to go fund me, man. People make donations.
Yeah, but even with that, I still want them to do what they say they're going to do. And Lisa would tell you, Mitch would tell you, my word is my bond.
Nice.